Make the adjustments. I went out and looked yesterday. Yeah, I can bring my dog with me sometime, and I go look, and he's somewhat of a problem at times. Doesn't want to go along. Stands there and looks at it. I'm not going any further. It's like, dang you, dog, I need to go over there and look under those rocks. I'm not going over those rocks, he tells me. You know what I mean? Then I have to end my search probably an hour early, but good thing because I was, getting my backpack off and stuff and standing there, my ankle just, all of a sudden, my ankle's like, feels like it's sprained, and my back was killing me, and it's not easy looking for the treasure when you're getting old, and yeah, considering, get some partners, on a contract for searching, because there are people that think, oh, I'm going to take this coin and sell it, and I'm going to sell that coin. I'm going to give the bracelet back to, and they're just going to take the treasure and distribute it around the planet, basically. Not knowing that if you keep that treasure 100% complete, it's worth 100 times, or it's worth 200 times the value of what's in it. It's worth a whole lot complete and not worth much otherwise. But also, he says there, I titled the thing about the number of clues in the book. Because there are clues, he says there's 9 clues in the poem. He didn't tell you how many are in the book. There are many, because after, and the poem says that one of the clues in the poem is the end is in my drawings. And when you go into that, how many clues are in the drawings? What's a clue? What's not a clue? You've even things you've kind of ruled out, you got to keep them in the back of your mind, Another revelation I had yesterday, he talks about Hemingway's For Whom the Bell Tolls. I was watching a video on imagination and, improving your ability to imagine and link objects and things. And the guy mentioned Ernest Hemingway. This is what he says, quote, Ernest Hemingway had wrote 40 different conclusions to For Whom the Bells Tolls. Okay, there's 40 different endings. It's the hat trick again. Which one of the things in the drawing? What part of the drawings is the correct symbol that this is where the treasure is? I had found this one structure, I'd been calling it a stone igloo. But it's also, an igloo. What other shapes might an igloo be considered? A dome? Well, could a bell? So, this stone igloo might be one of the bells. The bells, bell toll. And it's right by the Olmec Head. They're right across from the Olmec Head. And it's, 400 or 500 feet from the blaze. And, it's not that much acreage. I'd say the area covers, oh, maybe 10 acres, you know? Except it's a hill like this, and it's covered with various size rocks. Some of the rocks are 20 feet by 20 feet by, you know, they're big rocks. And there's smaller ones, but you can climb around them and stuff, and it's not too bad. You can find a way to get through to any spot in there. I even found one rock that was like cut away. It was like steps that were cut in the rock to go up the hill. And let me see here. We got. Can't see because this thing's getting too warm in here already, and I'm not gonna suffer through the video. So. There. Okay. So the mammoth is resting right now. Yeah, there are many more clues than he says. There's 9 clues in the poem. Yet the poem sends you to look at other things because you're trying to. It sends you out to find out who Brown is. What is no place for the make? What are heavy loads and what is water high? And it gives you all these questions, but so water high, you might have 15 answers, but only one of them is correct. So if you excluded that one correct solution, then you're not on the road to the treasure. but all of my stuff fits just perfectly, all in line. It's 1, 2, 3, all the way through. Yeah, 9 things. I listed 9 things in the poem. I made a little list of what was things that I've found, and these are all on the same solve. You can have one solve, and my solve is like, you know, doing all the branch things, and I gone out on the wrong branches, and I'm coming back, but I am up near the end of the search in that final area. It's just very hard to find. Good morning, Steve. Where's my list I made? Is your imagination limited? Okay, so I gotta sneeze. Man, you gotta sneeze. Okay. Whew. Spring hay fever, maybe, huh? So, you know, y'all do, the things I've found. The beginning of the rainbow, hint of riches old, where warm waters halt. I found the home of Brown. I found the gypsies' camp. No paddle creek. I found no place for the make. I found the heavy loads. I found the water high. I found the blaze, which is the water high. I found tired and weak. I found the wood. I found Skippy's helicopter gearbox. I found the ZPU gun. I found the Model A in the wood with the 50 caliber to the nose. I found the totem, the guy holding the tombstone with the teacher with the can opener for a face. The totem had a can opener for a face. It had Forrest Fenn's little guy up against a tree holding the pie, except at the totem, it's not a pie. It's a box he's holding. So, and I found the tired week, ZPU totem. I found the hear me all and listen good. That's a skull with an ear sitting out next to it and an ear horn saying, listen good with this ear horn. It's like a hearing aid for you young people that don't know what an ear horn is. They probably think it's the horns that they can clip onto them big holes they got in their ears. Who knows what they're thinking. So, because people don't know about these things that used to exist. Before hearing aids, people would hold a horn up to their ear and you'd speak into it and it'd amplify it so they could hear you. Okay? So, hear me all, listen good. The Spanish Toy Factory, which is where the totem is, and a whole bunch of other carvings, and it's a whole bunch. It's just, the whole canyon is just full of rock art. So that's the Spanish Toy Factory area. And what that is also represents his school, the school, and at the gate to the school, to the Spanish Toy Factory, where his father parked his car, is the Alpha with the sideways Omega on top of it, which is the Forrest Fenn fly fishing thing, and just a very, very detailed, bizarre rock formation. I mean, a guy riding on the back of a bird, fishing for a fish in the root well of a tree on the side of the mountain. With a fake treasure there, a little box and a fish. What's he after, the fish or the box? And it's like the whole thing, all this is in nature is like forces that are like, Jesus, it's like it's written for me. Here's all my symbols. And then, okay, so we got that. And then we got the helicopters, the Biddy's boy, the Rockwell sculpture boy, and the Rockwell painting thing half a mile from there. Let's see, the Rockwell, I mentioned that, the Biddy's boy, the double blazes that turn upside down, the cow udders and the cats, and Bessie's tail coming down and whipping around the tail rotor of the helicopter. I mean, you got the tail of the cow and the tail of the rotor of the helicopter right there in the same spot. Right above his pile of wrecked airplanes and his F-100 flying along with the fuel tank underneath the wing and everything coming right out of the double blazes. Man, it's just all of the parts are here. And it's which of these symbols, which one is the important one, which one points the way to the treasure, you know? So I got to stack it. Okay. Hat Man. What do I mean by Hat Man? Oh yeah, the guy with the hat, he's waving and and there's that rock formation. It's like water drops shaped, arranged, and so it made like a cowboy face with a big nose in his mouth and a cowboy hat on him. I mean, it's art like, you know. How many times do you think Forrest has been there? I'm almost at the list of my here, but I'll get to that here after I finish my list of what I've found. I mean, there's a lot more than 9 things I've found, and they all fit into, you know. So, and they're just across from the double blazes and the pile of wrecked airplanes is the figure of him doing the what was his Slim Pickens thing, riding the A-bomb. It's like, oh, come on. How could these Clovis people known about Slim Pickens riding the A-bomb? And there's a sculpture, and it's like, and then you wonder, is this something that he modified to, you know, something is like, how could there be a pile of F-100s and his T6 and all that? But it's there. And it's like, so some of it is like, how can all of these pieces all be here without him aiding in the creation of some of them? I don't know how that happened. Maybe he just add a couple lines to what he's seen, and it made it what he wanted. I don't know. Okay, so he's riding a bomb. I found the take it with me, where how he took it with him. I know how he took it with him. I know this where the cemetery is. The mammoths, the mammoth tusk. The Moses, his Moses is on the second step of his stairway in his house, and the Moses I found is on the second terrace of the mammoth temples. And I found the Olnak head. I found the guy standing there by the creek with his fishing poles, a big rock thing. And then if you look from another angle, there's another guy standing there, and there's a horse with the blaze on his nose. And so you got the double blazes, you got the lake blaze, you got you know, the original blaze. There's a blaze in the poem, and there's blazes. Each of the drawings are blazes too. So, and each one of them is a clue, but which one is the clue, the blaze? I mean, there was the blaze in the poem, but there is another at the end. All of the pieces are going to fit to the end, I believe. There's one aspect that tells me that I am looking in the right area, but I'm not going to mention that one, because that would put you right where I'm at. That's two, and it's, so I've got a, basically, two creeks to pick, or really, I got creeks on the other side of the main creek that go up the other side, but they're pretty steep, and I saw something on top of the hill by the horse and the fisherman guy. I saw something on the hill there. It's easy to get up on top above there, and there was something square up there. So the other things I found the bridge. He jumped off bridge, the end of the rainbow, and the no paddle canoe. Well, because I found the no paddle creek, the no paddle up your creek. And you can't paddle up that creek because it's a waterfall. How simple is that? He said to simplify it. You know, and the name of that creek also tells you that you can't paddle up it. So, okay, now what are the questions here? I went over everything on my list there. How many times do you think Forrest has been there? He's been there quite a lot, many times for what I've found and all that. He's been there a lot. He's gone there at least gone fishing there quite a bit. But I think he was there looking for artifacts, because he got all these Clovis tombs and stuff and ruins, and you'd expect to find some artifacts. And I've got the one artifact I got is this Clovis knife. You know, it's a hand tool for cutting meat and stuff. It's a knife. They'd hold it, I guess, like this, and they could cut. So, you know, it's a neat little blade. You can see that everything here has been flaked off along this edge. It's been flaked, you know. So, you know, that's a 10,000-year-old steak knife. Is what that is. Or 14,000-year-old steak knife. So, yeah, it's still the forbidden searcher that has all the answers, and nobody can believe it. You know, they say that truth is stranger than fiction, and that's part of the. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I can't. Really? You know, that's what people are thinking. But yes, really. Really. It's just like that. Yeah. So, I was going to try to see. Right here, I was going to tell you. Oh, unplug my power for a second. Nope. Right here. You see Forrest in there? Right there. Oh, where's my finger? There. Yeah. I'm on it. There's Forrest. There's me. Desert File. Amy. Who else is in there? I can't tell. But, and there's Brooke. So, yeah, there's Forrest here. I got him out of his airplane. There's Ronnie Montrose. And there's Alice Cooper. There's me in the front of a Boeing Stearman. Paid $200 for a 2-hour flight. That was a blast. We did barrel rolls and all that. Was over. We flew out of Centennial Airport in Denver and went up into the mountains over Evergreen and buzzed the guy's friends' places and whatever. And then flew back to Denver. That was a Cessna flight I took. But the Stearman, we went down south of Denver, and when we did all these aerobatics, we did the hammerhead, the barrel roll, and the full circle thing, whatever. And we did some diving on some water tanks, pretending to attack them. I was the gunner up in the front of the plane. You sit on your parachute in there, you know, and the cockpit's open. I got to do that again someday. That was fun. And the other thing I got to do again, while I was treasure hunting last year, it was the year before last year. I was up there, and the one day my car battery had gone dead, and I couldn't drive my car over to where I wanted to search, and so I took my bicycle and put it down the hill where nobody could see it, and went and did my search and come back. And I was riding my bicycle back to where my RV and stuff was. It was about 2 miles, and I was coming down the road, and there was a bunch of cows on the road. And I was on a downhill, just a slope, you know, a nice little slope. And anyhow, these cows started running ahead of me. And so I was stampeding the cattle with my bicycle, kind of. It was. I wish I had a camera running when that happened. So yeah, that'd be fun to go and reenact that sometime. Go up there and sit on the hill and wait for the cows to get on the road and then ride the bicycle after them. But yeah, and in that area, I was so impressed with that one rock sculpture I found that I stayed there on that. I was stuck on that for a year before I figured out that this is a Spanish toy factory, and I need to look for things near the door to the Spanish toy factory, near the sign and the gate, the door to there. And that's where I started. Then I found the other Omegas and the Alpha Omegas and that Clovis art and all that stuff. People wouldn't believe where some of that artwork is, and people just drive right past it and have no clue it's there. You don't know it's there unless you're within 15 feet of it, you know. But I was able to see that something was there with my telephoto lens. With a 300 millimeter lens, I could see it from 200 yards away. I could see something was, what's that? That rock, overall shape of the rock looks like a head. And there's something colorful in there. Digital coin hunt. Digital coin hunt. Fenn says the person who solves the poem should be able to write right to the treasure. He never said that. He said he is the only one that can go straight to it. Anybody else, when they know where it is, they're going to have to look all over for it. You're going to have to look all over for it. He says to simplify it, but really he's the only one that can simplify it. You can simplify the poem, but once you get into the drawings and all the abstracts in there and stuff, it's hard to it's not very simple. Because you got the hat trick. Which symbol is the symbol? You know? What I want to do is I'm going to, even if I got so many symbols that if I marked them all on a map and drew lines between all of them, I wouldn't know which crisscross was the one I'm looking for. You'd have to go check them all. And then there's places that, no way, you know, it's that those precipice places. No, not there. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the places that he would not hide it. They're like, you know, any public works, like culverts going under roads, even culverts under forest roads and all that are inspected annually. Every year they go and look at them to make sure they're not plugged and going to cause a flood or something, you know. And so they'll clean debris away from there and stuff. And that area, no. If there's a road going along the hillside, you know, we got a hillside or whatever, and there's a road coming along, and there's a hill coming up over here, but over this side it's going down. Okay, on that side below the road where cars can drive off the road and crash in there, I don't think he'd put it where a vehicle can have an accident and end up on top of it, get towed out, and what, you know, they're collecting the debris and they find it. It's not going to be that close to a road where a vehicle could go off the road and hit it. An airplane can drop on it anywhere. But and there's so many places that you can't see in the woods. You know, I fly my drone over the trees, and you go, oh man, there's stuff down in there, and you got to go hiking back in there to look. He says to bring gloves, and I got these gloves with like leather pads for the hands and stuff. There's a lot of plants with little tiny thorns on them, and they'll scratch the crap out of you. You notice I wear a long sleeve. This my Fanatic shirt. Beep. This one's long sleeve because when some of the areas you go there, there's 1,000 flies. So you need the long sleeves. And just a second here. Get something here to show you. You gotta have the long sleeves, and you bring one of these along too. You know, I got this. This was like two for $2, right, or $5. It was cheap. You know, less than, it was like $3. No, but when you get, I don't think I don't think they, some of them bite, very few of them do, but where you need this is where there's 1,000 flies and just, you know, 4 of them on your face at a time, and they're all over your arms, and so you you know, if you're covered up, you don't feel them on you, and that's a lot more comfortable. That's my chin strap, I guess. You can get these that are just net, that just the head thing goes over your own hat, but this one came with a little hat. So, yeah, you want one of these nets just in case. Oop. Yeah, that's the chin strap hanging down there. So that's a, especially if you're going where there's watery, marshy. If you're going to look at a little pond or anything, that's where you're going to find most of the flies. I mean, there was stuff, there were plants that looked like corn growing up there. It was like, but it wasn't corn, it was some type of, maybe it was Indian soap plant or something. I don't know. I was learning when I was a Boy Scout, this Indian soap plant, you know, they'd use it for soap and stuff to wash, but when they, you know, go in the river and wash with it and stuff, it'd knock out the fish and the fish float to the top. So it's good for catching fish too. But yeah, any nobody has any questions? Let me see. What else did I post down here? I did that little imagination is yours limited, and it's a girl on a bed with a. I can show you my little cartoon I made. Imagination is yours limited. Do you see the shapes in the clouds and whatever? You know, it depends. You can look at, you know, there's just a, you know, there are figures placed in this tree in the shadow intentionally and stuff, but as to whether they're real shapes or it's, you know, is this a representation of what she's imagining or what's actually on the wall? You know what I mean? Anything, that'd be neat to have a lamp that made shadows like that. They've done those. So there's the Model A cow, run through an art program. These are YouTube videos you might want to look up. Power of creativity. The science of improving your brain's creativity. I think one of them's you see, people with imagination. Most people are in the zombie thing. They can't. I don't see anything. They're not trying to even see anything, and they've been programmed by society to ignore those type of things, to not even try to see them because they'll be labeled a lunatic. Now, this is a color that I would. The chest probably isn't bright, shiny bronze, and it's probably pretty well covered in green, because parts of it were. See, this here, you can see some green. There's green in along here. Most searchers are incapable of deciphering the poem and resort to following other popular clueless searchers. And notice the axe in the tree. Where's the lumberjack? He took that treasure. And Forrest says, I mean, a nickel would buy a wimpy hamburger, Coca-Cola, bag of Fritos, an ice cream bar. Geez, nickels were magic when I was a kid. That's what Fenn says in the. Is it in a book or one of the interviews? And this that's a 1931 Buffalo nickel, a Cody nickel. Basically, you guys aren't tying. You don't tie in the 6 degrees of separation. There's no separation. There's a buffalo nickel. Those buffaloes are directly related. You know. Okay. Hemingway, he wrote that, like I said, he wrote 40 different endings for whom the bell tolls. And Forrest said to me, so you found the right place, but there's 40 of them, right? Well, I think he said, I don't have the exact words. I don't know what he called, if he called it the right place, the right spot, whatever. You know, it was in line to what I found, and that there's a whole bunch of what I found, a whole bunch of his art. It's a trove. A trove is a collection. Okay? A single object isn't a trove. A trove is multiple objects, and you're looking for his trove. You don't know that it's the treasure particularly. It could just be the art. When I get the treasure, I'll always remember, yeah, I will, you know. People attack me right out of, just plain ignorance, and they've seen one video and they don't know, they haven't put together all of the pieces, you know. And Shane O'Neill bombing. Oh, so yeah, and another thing. I trying to tell me some other place, someplace, and look into. It's like, if it ain't in this area I'm looking at, I ain't even gonna look at it. I ain't gonna waste my time and my thought on something that is incorrect, because I know that I'm in the correct area, and nobody can convince me I'm wrong. Forrest can't even do that. He's tried. Oh no, I've never heard of that. Never heard of that before. Yeah, you're embellishing there, Forrest, because you've been there before. You know where these stumps are. Yes, yeah, I found the tree stumps. I found the lumberjack. Adding on to that list. So what I came to there is that there's more than 9 clues. There's more than 9 clues. There's only not 9 is what the number that's in the poem. And the book has many more. Where's my dictionary? We go to the 1825 dictionary, where clue goes in here. Cavern. Clue. Connection. Lots of CO. CO. Wow, pages and pages. Cold. Cold. Since the cold's here, I'll read that. The cause of the sensation of cold. The privation of being deprived of heat. The sensation of cold, chillness, a disease caused by cold, the obstruction of precipitation. The obstruction, the obstruction of perspiration. It's so cold that you don't sweat. So it could just be temperature, So coldly cold, chilly, having the sense of cold, having the cold qualities, frigid, without passion, unaffecting, unable to move the passions, reserved, coy, not affectionate, not cordial, chaste, Not welcome. The cold is not welcome. So I'm still looking for club, cluck, clump, to cluck, and then clump. Clue should have been right in between them. Oh, trying to get it so you can. Okay, it's going to show up better if I do it on the other side of the. You couldn't see that. But, whoop. Okay, so the 1825 dictionary. Whoop. Where is clue? Cluck, clump. Clue, C-L-U-C, C-L-U-M. C-L-U-E should be in between them. The word, there was, in 1825, the word clue did not exist. So, right there, where's clue? Clue is not in the 1825 dictionary. Okay. Beep. So we'll now find a hint. Hint is in the dictionary, but clue isn't. E, F, G, H, I, L, hollow, H-I-N, H-O-P, H-O. How do I get H-O? Okay, I got a hint here now. Oh, don't knock the thing over. Okay. So now here's hint. Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it. Oh, technical difficulties. Himp. H-I. Hint. Faint notice given to the mind. Remote illusion. Remote illusion. Suggestion. Intimidation. That's what a hint means. Being intimidated. Okay? So, yes, there's very many intimidations. Yeah. He's like making you go, oh, double blazes. Damn. Okay. Oh, turn around. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the 1825 Walker's Dictionary. And it was made mainly for people who immigrated from Ireland and Scotland for English dictionary, American English dictionary. It was first American English dictionary. And you see it's Walker's Dictionary. And Walker was one of my ancestors. John Walker is one of my ancestors from Wigton, Scotland. And he has books about his family. You know, so that's how I know my family tree, because I only got to go back about 4 generations to connect them. T. But Merriam-Webster was John Walker's partner. And when Walker died, Webster went and put his name on Walker's Dictionary. Something you don't know, you know. That's how academics and people work like that, you know. They you know, if they can put the, oh man, if I can, it's like crown my checkers. So that's that. But yeah, I don't even know what else to talk about. I ran into somebody else who had found the he's finding Pagosa Springs where the Pagosa, where warm waters halt. Pagosa Springs is the world's deepest hot spring. It's 1,000 feet deep. It's over 1,000 feet deep, but none of the others have measured that deep. And Pagosa Hot Springs is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's deepest hot spring. It halts. Okay. Let's say you have a swimming pool with 2 feet of water in, and you dive in head first. Where is your head going to halt? At the bottom. Where's the warm water halt? It halts at the bottom. It halts at the end, but the beginning is an end also. It like a rainbow. It has 2 ends. Well, but we call it the rainbow's end, but it actually has the beginning and the end, and that's how my treasure hunt. I've gone from to find the end of his rainbow, I looked for the beginning of his rainbow. And that's how, and it put me there, and I'm still at a toss-up. You know, was it the Rainbow Hot Springs or was it Pagosa Springs, you know? Because the Rainbow Hot Springs is right by it. You can come down to Canyon to Brown's place from there. But Rainbow Hot Springs is 4.5-mile walk. It's too far to walk. And so there can be 2 different where warm waters halt. There's more than one of everything in his pub. That's why there's 2 Omegas. There's 2 pocket watches in his chest. There's 2 bracelets. There's 2 frogs. There's two. And he says you'll want to go back because maybe there's 2 chests. There's another one there, the secret one. Maybe you'll find the secondary one before the first one. Who knows? Because everything's a guess until it's found. Because we don't know what exactly. He said you'll want to. I said I can carry that 40 pounds out in one trip. And he says, oh, you'll want to make 2. You'll want to make a second trip. So, you got to make 2 trips like he did for some reason. What's the reason you got to make 2 trips? Because it's a lot more than 40 pounds that you're carrying, possibly. Maybe he had left things there prior to putting the treasure there. There was something else he had left there before he put the treasure there. Maybe he's got a stash of artifacts laying there. Maybe it's covered with them. I don't know. He's a pile of arrowheads on top of the treasure or something, That'd be really neat. But some of the stuff I've seen, I wonder if, the Earth is giving me these messages and signals. Especially some of the rock stuff. It's like they would have had to construct that whole canyon wall to do that. There's the one dinosaur head and his hands reaching around a spruce tree and holding the spruce tree, and it's on the side of the hill like this. But it's I can show you the dinosaur. Oh, dinosaur. You go to recent places. No. Okay. Now, do you see the TRex head? Here's the TRex head. back here. There's a T-Rex head coming out of the side of the hill here. Oh, look at this. Is that his nickel? Is that the nickel that's being slid under the tombstone? Look how... That's almost like a coin, you know what I mean? Oh, let's zoom this way. See what I mean? That looks like a coin. Or a penny, but it's, you know, the wrong color for it. And down here you see the hands of the T-Rex. See, he's back here, and here's his hands reaching around holding the tree. So I call it, that's T-Rex. He's getting his Christmas tree there, you know? So I think these people, they have dinosaurs. There's a couple giant coins. There's another round one here. These are discs of some sort. It's like a giant coin. And it's like Van Gogh on there. You could look deeper into the... What you're looking at is these cracks and these shapes. There's a face on that side of it looking in there. There's a, you know, there's just a lot of stuff, and you gotta be able to see these shapes, and that's what he's got. You know, the people that aren't looking for symbols, if you're not looking for some kind of symbol, you're not looking for the treasure, because there's going to be some type of symbols that say, this is it. This is the place. This is where you want to look. Because I didn't find just one drawing in his book, or two, or three. I found all of them. And I've got pictures going up that canyon. It goes up toward Rainbow Hot Springs too, and there's a whole lot of stuff in there. And I think that's where the kids on the rope are. And what was I watching? I watched a video last night on YouTube. It'll tell me here what I watched. And you know, the kids on the rope thing. Boom! There were the kids on the road. Oh, it was a Renaissance, the Renaissance festival they have in Los Angeles area. Guy posted a video. A guy named Faire, and he does, and he's really good. If you're not experienced with going out and getting in the backcountry and hiking and camping and little cook stoves and all that. This guy, he takes parties of people out hiking and camping, and he shows off all the neat little gear and stuff you can get for it. And, where is his video? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, those are what I watched yesterday. Maybe he took it down. Sometimes. Like I posted a video, I believe I posted a video that I did at the gate of the home of Brown, and it's not online anymore. There it is, Renaissance Pleasure Fair. 4 minutes, I think, 4:20. We'll show you a little bit. That's his table.
Backyard. It's after midnight. It's almost 1 in the morning.
That isn't the video I clicked on.
There's high, low,
oh my god.
Low.
There. Okay. Now 4 minutes. Okay. Now watch here.
Cut their limit today.
They cut their limit.
No catch and release here in the Shire.
Kids on a stringer. Okay. Huh? That's all I'll show you that. That's his stuff. So yeah, there's some kids on a rope. Was it part of the? I don't think that was part of the treasure hunt, but it just shows that people used to do that. I guess that's what they show. You know, that's how they let kids around. They probably had tied around their wrist back in the Renaissance days. Yeah, there's. I think I covered a couple of lessons. You know, I'm never going to tell anybody exactly where to look, but I do. I have put you at the beginning in the Homer Brown. I've gotten you that far, and the rest is fairly simple. You know, it was for me when I found the blaze, and I looked up the name of that place, and oh, that's a blaze. That means it's a blaze, and boom, you know. But people think they know what these. You think you look up every word because there are words you don't know. And when you find a place on a map, like, I don't know what Pagosa means. Maybe it's some type of papoose or something. I don't know what a Pagosa is. Or maybe it's a platypus, or who knows. I don't know. So, yeah, you want to look up every word because that'll tell you what things are, and you got to, and when he says heavy loads, he's talking mechanical, man-made, mechanical things, you know, not. I mean, he says. People always it's not associated with a structure. The treasure isn't associated. No, the treasure isn't. But there are places. Brown's home is a house, and it's his land, which is massive, 3,100 acres. You know, it takes you 10 minutes to drive across it. It's huge, and he's got the whole freaking valley practically. There used to be a national forest, and he was such a big shot developing Silicon Valley, basically. All of those Intels and Hewlett-Packards and all bought real estate from him, and he developed their properties, and you know, so he's a tycoon. But he's dead. He died in 2013. He was selling the place when Forrest published the book. So not long after Forrest published the book, Brown died. Hey, the other thing, Pagosa, is Red Ryder BB gun that he was killing them meadowlarks with, and the Red Ryder cartoons and all that. Fred Harmon lived in Pagosa Springs. He also died 2009 or so, you know? So when he says if two people keep a secret if one of them's dead. Oh, man. That's going to be daring, but I'm going to do it just for fun. I got to go... I'm gonna check a spot. It's really private property, but it's kind of no security anymore, and by the road. So I'm just gonna go peek, look and run. Well, I won't have to run. I'd probably even ask them if I can metal detect around there, around the park area. So, I gotta find some stuff other than. Might as well look for other things while you're looking for the treasure. And I'll show you something. When you go to When you go get fast food or something, oop, he's upside down. Oop, and they give you change, check your quarters. That's a silver quarter, and this one in the condition is worth like $6. Top condition, they're like $8, you know, but it's only a quarter. It's worth $6. But I put them in my. I got a little thing of for coins for metal detecting and for testing my metal detector. I got, you know, the copper, and I don't know if one of these is bronze and the other is this is a Vermont coin. It's 200-year bicentennial Vermont coin, and I got a look at this one. Yeah, the Buffalo Bill, Cody. So, and I got a little silver spoon ring. So, you know, I can test for different objects. Got dimes, things, nickels. So I know what signal each of them give. Of course, I went up there yesterday, and my memory card for my Nikon, I left it in my laptop. That's why I was telling myself, always bring the laptop in case I left the memory card in it. Leave them both. But I got up there, and I have several cameras. This is my 360 camera, and I put it on my walking stick. It has you know, the tripod and my walking stick. I got a 1/4-20 screw in the top that just goes in there, and I hold the walking. So it's like my scepter. And so these Clovis people, you know, when they got Anubis with his scepter, and his scepter is a vortex. And the humans are going through the vortex and out the other side to heaven. These people were doing hallucinogens and doing ESP stuff and all that. And is it possible that their Anubis scepter with the vortex was actually them in some type of extrasensory perception, seeing me in the future walking with my walking stick with the 360 camera on it? And they interpreted that as it was collecting their spirits. Yeah, who knows? You know, and then it's really the Alpha and the Omega, because that creates a time loop from there to this time. If they were seeing, so wow, imagine going back 14,000 years in time. Well, and imagine you get there, and it's a world of peace, and like the Garden of Eden, and you know, but it'd be impossible to have a world full of 100% good people. There's a lot of bad people out there, and most of these people don't want to. Oh no, he's 2 steps above me. I can't have that. You know, that attitude, selfishness and stuff. You know, there are people that maybe they realize that I'm onto it and they're just jealous. Hey, moo. You ever, here we go. There we go. You know what that is? That's my cow laser. I'll tell you it's a funny story about cows. Cows are very curious. When I was young, me and the ex, we hopped over a fence and climbed up the top of a hill over the San Francisco Bay Area and laid a blanket out and did our thing, you know? And when we were finished, we were surrounded by cows. They were watching and going, what the fuck are they doing? Okay, that's over an hour. Happy hunting. Have a good day. I won't stretch this out.